What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another Tesla video. Today I got an exciting video for you. We have FSD Beta 10.11.1. This is in Canada, so I'm very happy that I can finally share beta videos with you guys. And we're going to be doing a full uncut, unedited video of it driving for you guys. And I'm going to try my best to narrate along the way, and I'm going to be as safe as possible, so if I have to disengage, I will. I've been driving around with it for a few hours so far, and it does some good and some bad, and hopefully you guys will get a little bit of everything on this drive. I'm going to try sticking to a standard route going forward for more beta videos, and I might change the route along the way. So I'm going to set my first destination to a local mall. We're going to expand this out so you guys get the full viewing experience, and we're going to begin. So to start, we have to turn around, and the reason why I wanted to start like this is I want to see what would happen, because I thought this was kind of like a fascinating test. So I might have to take over, I'm not sure yet. Unable to complete maneuver, so please assist. So there you go, there's our first disengagement. And honestly, I didn't know it could do this, otherwise I would have flipped it around. So I guess I'll probably put a counter in the bottom. So that's number one. And we're gonna just re-enable now. And we are off. So here's our first stop sign. I'm gonna try to let the car go as long as I possibly can without taking over. Once again, if it's a safety hazard, obviously I'm gonna take over. I don't want to disrupt other people's driving experiences either, so if that happens, then I will probably take over as well, but I'll be talking about that as I go. So it turned well there, then it did a left, there's no traffic. We're in a small subdivision so far, so nothing too complex, nothing crazy. So far I've been pretty impressed. Like half the time, the other half it's like, man, how did it do this? Like there's some moments where it's really impressive things, and then like the next moment it's like, wait, you just did that, how come you messed up this, right? So anyway, it has to make a left, and you can see it is way too far over, so it's actually in a bike lane now. So I'm gonna disengage and move over because I don't want to be in the bike lane, and we're gonna report that one, and let's turn it back on. And it is moving up. Hopefully it's not going into the intersection. I guess it's straightening out. Okay, any further, I'm going to stop it. Unless it's moving up for the car behind me, which is here. They're trying to make a right, which it kind of messed up, right? And you might be able to see the wheel. It is moving back and forth like crazy. So it's making the left now, finally. It did a decent job. It was a little bit aggressive, a little bit quick, but it did it well. And we are going. My hand is on the wheel at all times. It's on the left side of the camera. Should be able to see it, maybe not. I don't know what your view is. I gotta focus. So now we're upcoming, we're gonna be making a right. So we haven't had any crazy lefts yet, but we will. This is the first destination of a few that I want to do en route. I want to try getting a roundabout as well. So it has to make a right, it has to move over into the bike lane. You can see where it's trying to make the right from, which is wrong. So there's a car on our right here that's actually making the right in the proper spot. And my car, the Beta, is not doing that. So I'm going to like just reverse because there's no cars behind me, and we're going to like help it out. And we're going to signal, and we're going to turn autopilot back on. So second error, again, I'm probably going to lose count as we go, but I'll have a counter in the bottom. It totally messed up with the bike lane though. It just couldn't do it. So now it's green, it can finally go, and nope. Okay, taking that off. It was going into the curb, most definitely. So back on we go, and we're going to lower the speed. And now we have a nice straight stretch for 2 kilometers, so that shouldn't be too bad. We got green light up ahead. I find going straight with lights, it's good. I haven't experienced any major problems. Construction, it really struggled with earlier. I had this one error, and I'll talk about that now because we have like a 1.7 kilometer stretch as we're going straight. I had this one error, and I'll put it on the screen somewhere. It popped up, and I had no access to autopilot or the beta or even TAC. So I actually had to pull over, power off my car, and then when I powered it back on, the error cleared. So if you guys have that error, that's definitely, like, that's the way to fix it. That happened to me twice so far, but nonetheless, we have our beta back and working. I do like that you can like go in and then go outwards. That's kind of cool. And it picks up so much. The visualization is amazing. So 900 meters, we're going to be making a left. The left here is a pretty big left. It's a pretty big and busy intersection, which is a good test. For those who are unaware, I am driving in a city called Brampton, which is a pretty hectic city in terms of driving. So for like insurance rates locally, it's pretty high because our drivers are, like the drivers in our area are not the greatest. So if the beta does well here, it should do well everywhere across North America, in my opinion, but we'll see. So let's bump it up just to 60 because it was at 59. And there's one thing I noticed, and I'm going to point it out before we do it, because I've noticed it a lot. If it has to make a left, it doesn't cut in when the left lane opens. I think it might be because the way our lanes are marked, and maybe it does it here, hopefully. Okay, so it did it there, but it didn't signal. So we're gonna just mark that down, because now it's signaling, but it didn't signal to come into the lane. So technically it's wrong, incorrect. You gotta signal ahead of time. And I know I might get some comments down below saying, hey, you know, you're over reporting or whatever. I think it's good, right? I'd rather report more than less, especially like minor things like that, where it's such like a minor fix, right? But I was saying the visualization is amazing. Look how many cars it picks up now. Like all the way back, the ones behind me, the ones going across the intersection. This is vastly better than the regular version. So that is really, really awesome. And now we wait. So that's the problem coming to a busy intersection. It takes longer for a light. So advanced green, someone's not going up in the front. And here we go. So this one's actually not bad because there is an advanced green, and okay, it did it. And now it moved over right away, which is good. That's not a bad thing. And then it's signaling again because it's going to be entering into the mall. All right, so let me just pull in here, and then I'm gonna like quickly add a new address. Okay, so we have our second destination set. It's literally from just where I parked. So we have to come out left here and then go left again. And I might have to brake. No, okay, it stopped. It's safe to go if it hurries. And okay, it did it. That was a pretty good left. Now it has to go left again. The white car is waving me down, so my car is not going to go. So I'm pushing the pedal there, truthfully, just because, again, I don't want to interrupt the flow of traffic. So I kind of gave it a boost, otherwise it would have sat there and waited to be confident to go across. So I definitely had to assist it on that part. So we are heading back close to where we began, and then we're going to go to a third point where there is a roundabout to see. But so far, not too bad. And the speed here is 60, and it was still doing 40. now it's sped up, so let's maintain our 60. It's going to make its right, and then the right lane will exit. Or, yeah, right lane exits. The right lane will end, sorry, is what I meant. It's, the lane ends. It merges. So, after it turns, it should move over. I've tried this once before, and it waited right to the end. So, the yield doesn't really matter. It totally cut into the lane too far, and let me bring this up full for you guys. When it made the right, it jumped into the wrong lane, and then it came back. And then this lane here, there happened to be no cars, but the lane merged and it did not signal to merge over. So if there was a ton of traffic like there normally is, I would have been in trouble because the car didn't signal to move over. It just kind of like said, hey, this is my road, which is not great. So once again, we have a 2.4 kilometer stretch going straight. We have a yellow here, which it decided to go through, which was fine. And we're just kind of casually going. Something I did notice, the 2.2 kilometers. So on navigation on autopilot, I think it's like 1.5 to 2 kilometers is around the 2 kilometer mark that it starts preparing to like move over. This one will work about the same. So you'll notice here, it has to make a left in 1.9 kilometers. I figure in the next, when it hits about 1.5, it's going to jump over. It's going to attempt to go into the left turn lane, or the left lane, just to prepare. And it literally just braked for nothing, and I had to hit the pedal. If there's a guy behind me, I would have got rear-ended, but there was no one behind me, so definitely an error. So now it wants to change over, but it decided to change over just before the intersection. Like, it was already changing over in the middle of the intersection. So once again, gonna mark that one. Again, I feel like you can't go wrong marking things that it does wrong. You're better off marking it wrong to help improve the system over the long run. Like, it's really impressive what it's able to do. It's able to make rights and lefts with a decent amount of accuracy. It's not a perfect system, it's a beta, and you have to pay attention and be prepared to take over. So I think marking things is helpful. So this time around it should stop, which it did. Okay. And this light's not too bad, so we shouldn't be here waiting too long. So we got a decent left coming up, and then I think I'm going to set it to the next address because we're going to try a roundabout out. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of roundabouts near me without going like a super far distance. So I'm going to probably do a little bit of research into it. I'm going to play around with some different routes. I want to narrow this down to like a really good route that I can use over and over for different beta versions. And the car on our right here was actually behind me. I've noticed a trend, people don't like driving behind the FSD Beta. Yeah. So yeah, here, it should have merged in already, and it merges too late, and it doesn't even signal when it's merging. So I don't know, should I be reporting each and every one of those? I'm not sure. It's still not signaling, and it's in the left turn lane. Right, look, now it signals. So it doesn't signal till like the very end. Which, I mean, the guy in front of us isn't signaling at all, but the system has to be greater than a human, which I guess in this circumstance it is. And of course we get advanced green. I wanted some solid lefts that it can do without, so yeah. And it's turning a little bit too tight. No, it did it. Okay, I'm glad I left it. It did it well. And now it's moving over. Yep, we're good. All right, so the car made the left. After the left, all I did was set our new address. So the new address is going to be using the highway. This is the only portion of the entire video that I'm going to speed up, so I'm not going to like crop it out or anything so you guys can see it. but I'm gonna leave it in. It's just gonna be like a sped up version, just because I want to keep this like as unedited as possible. But the highway driving portion is kind of boring. It's not that much different than navigation on autopilot. I mean, graphically it looks a little bit better because it's like a full screen thing, but other than that, it's the same as before. So again, that's the only portion of this that I will speed up, and I'll do that once we enter the highway. So you can see there, it entered a little bit abruptly and it did not signal, but we're on the highway now. So at 700 meters, so it is doing so now. And I don't know if it will slow down in time to turn in. It doesn't matter. There's no cars behind me. I'm going to kind of let it go. If it misses it, it misses it. It doesn't make a difference. We're not actually turning in. But if it does it, great. If not, well, so sad, too bad. All right, let's see what it does. It's signaling, right? Oh, it's going to do it. It's going to do it. It's going to do it. Turn, turn, turn. Oh, it did it. Okay, it did it. That's cool. All right, so let's set our next destination. Okay, so we have our next destination set, and depending on the time of day when I come to do this, this could be like a really interesting turn. So we have to make a left, and it's a pretty busy road coming both ways. So there's a lot of traffic on the left and on the right, and I might stop the car if it's out too much. No, it's okay. It seems like it, but it's not. It is a little bit too far on the left, so if this was like a day where the establishment was open, there'd be a lot of cars angry because they couldn't turn in right. But nonetheless, I'm going to leave it, and let's see how long it takes to make this left. Maybe I'll do this so you guys can kind of see. No, maybe not. Oh. So that's what I'm talking about. This guy wanted to make a right in, and he couldn't because the car was in the wrong position. So I'm gonna like reverse back, and we're gonna start this over because it was totally wrong, and we're gonna report that. Let's make this big for you again, and let's start it up. All right, so just as I started it, it was able to do it, and there we go. That's not bad. Other than the fact that it was in the wrong position, which I should have corrected it earlier. I feel bad the guy had to go around me, but nonetheless, it's still fixed. And we have another left coming up in 2.4 kilometers. So I'm gonna play around with the routes a little bit. This is the first day that I got the beta, so I was kind of excited. In retrospect, I should have used like the waypoints as an option. It would have made this a little bit easier. So I'm gonna play around with different waypoints. I want to make the drive a little bit more interesting with more turns and more lefts and rights and more complex stuff for the car to do. So this is kind of like my introduction video, I guess, for the beta. I wasn't expecting it. We got the safety score 4 weeks ago, I want to say, and then it's been like, hey, it's coming this week. It's coming this week, and we've been waiting quite a bit. So I mean, I can't complain because there's a lot of people that still don't have it, and I think if you have a safety score of at least 100, especially the people with 100 or 99 or 98 or whatever the cutoff ends up being, you should be given it, right? It's kind of unfortunate, but I get it. So anyway, we have our first left coming up in 900 meters, or not our first left, but our next left, and we'll see how this one goes. and I believe I passed the roundabout. So I'll like I said, I'll play around with it. I'll probably have another video with this same beta build, or a couple of them coming up, with different routes and stuff like that. I'm gonna play around with different routes, and I'll have better content going forward. But it's still a pretty good test, and you can see once again it's gonna make the left, but it's not gonna turn over right away. Oh, it swerved over, then it swerved back, then it swerved over. So we're gonna just report that, because that's shouldn't happen like that. So I don't know if it's a disengagement counter I'm going to put at the bottom, or like an error counter. I don't know which one's better, or maybe like a combination of both. I'll see. I don't know what I'm going to do like post-editing, but that will probably be the extent of my editing. So it's stopped a little bit further back than I'd like. I think it should move up a little bit, but it's okay. I think after the car that's coming, it might be able to go. Yep. Okay, so it's moving up. Nope, it stopped. Yeah, it's moving up, and it's going. It's going. Speed up. Okay. Whew. Hopefully you guys picked that up. Like, it was going pretty slow, and then it's like, all right, we got to gun it. The car's coming fast, and it just like, it went pretty quick. So it's like seeing stuff like that where it's like really impressive. It like knows there's a big enough gap, and then it knows it has to speed up, and it's like really, really cool. I think that's awesome. So again, 700 meters, we're going to be making a right, and right we go. So you can see over the hill, it braked a little bit. It didn't know what was coming over the hill, so it was being cautious and started slowing down. I know you might see that as phantom braking, possibly. I thought it was decent, just the way it worked. So anyway, now we have a green. It turned a little bit too tight. Okay, I took that off there because it was going on the oncoming traffic side. And I don't know if you guys get that type of perspective from what you're seeing, but it definitely was. So I'm gonna count that one as well. And we have our speed, and we have our roundabout coming up, so I didn't miss it, so I was right. And this is actually the first ever roundabout that I've been on while driving myself with the FSD Beta, and you guys get to experience that with me. Yeah, it's a fun time. So I lowered it down. You gotta stop for pedestrians. And there's a car behind me who is waiting, so it yielded fine. And okay, it did it. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, it did it, but it's very like, it's very aggressive. It wasn't like as smooth as it could be. Anyway, I'm gonna end off my first beta video here. I kind of got a good mix of stuff. Once again, there's gonna be like more improvements coming. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, subscribe for more Tesla content. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are. Do you have the beta? What do you think about it so far? If you don't have the beta, are you enrolled? Do you have a safety score? What are your thoughts about the whole system? I'm not a huge fan of the safety score system, and I'll probably talk about that in my next beta video. I was just kind of excited about having the beta this time around. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time.